call is now being recorded.
Everyone, thanks for joining. So Shashank, I think you are going ahead. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I ended up here because it's been a while since I've been in a bit of a rut when it comes to reading. I do read, but it's mostly it has been articles these days. It's not. I haven't been able to pick up a book and stick to finishing it. I did start a couple of books in the past month or so, but I wasn't able to keep up with them, and I kept them aside after reading a couple of pages. So, and when you pinged me that we're doing this, there's a group, and uh, we are connecting. So I thought maybe I'll take some inspiration from whatever you guys are reading, and if you guys shared, your favorite bits, maybe then I would be like, okay, this book looks interesting, or maybe I should probably, start with this one and then see how it goes. So that's my story about how I got over here. Hi, Pratap.
Hey, Pratap. Yeah, so we're just sharing how our journey with reading, and So
Hi. Sorry, my mic was on mute. Sorry.
Yeah.
It happens every time, man. Sorry, even in the office meetings.
Am I audible?
I can relate to this.
Yeah.
Sorry, did I miss the introductions or somebody was talking about their favorite?
Not at all. You're just in time.
Yeah. Just
Cool. So
Shashank,
nice to
what
see
are
you. Hi, Shashank. Hi, Vinay. Why do I see two Saurav Nandis over here? I see one
just
static
backup.
image and I see.
Because I'm paranoid.
Cool. Hi, Priya. Nice. I'm so used to Microsoft Teams. I'm just trying to figure out this Google Meets layout. Sorry. Go on. I'll butt in later. Yeah.
All this while I was thinking this was okay. This Saurav looks very similar to the Saurav that's there on the side.
From the past.
For a while I was thank you for clearing that out, Pratap. Actually, that helped me.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
So
what's on the agenda?
Yeah. Just starting with the introduction, and then if we can read from some our favorite books. Yeah, Shashank, what are your favorite books, authors? Any?
So I was reading. Have you heard of this writer Malcolm Gladwell?
Yeah, Outlier.
Yeah, Outliers, David and Goliath. So he is one of my favorite. Other than this, there's this writer called Bill Bryson. I'm not sure if.
Body. Yeah.
Oh yes. So those two are give a book, and those are some of the books that I normally I can't get it down. If I start once, if I have whatever's there, if it's work, if it's food, I keep it aside. I'm like, thoda or 15 minutes, half an hour. There's still time. So those are two of my favorites. Yeah.
Awesome. So Shashank, Pratap, we all are joining from Bombay. Shashank, you are which part of Bombay? Right?
Malad.
Achha. So that's Innocent Bank's wala region. Yeah, I think you're in City, right?
Yeah, in Citibank. I work for Citibank. I'm a KYC analyst.
Awesome. Yeah. I think Pratap, would you like to go ahead or?
Yeah, sure. So hi everyone, my name is Pratap. So I'm based in Bandra, and briefly, I like to keep work completely out of every discussion because then it reminds me that I have a life outside work. Otherwise, that also creeps into the conversation. But I'm in logistics. I've been in logistics for almost 14-15 years. And I'm with a startup called Global Solutions. My office is inside the airport. So we work very closely, with airlines and freight forwarders and stuff like that. So very slightly technical role. I probably get 4 to 5 hours of sleep. That's it every day, because you always have operations happening, passenger flights to be managed, a lot of stuff, technical stuff, but very interesting. And of course, I love reading. But as the saying goes, life has always come in the way. You have this huge list of I will read this and I will read that, and invariably, something comes up, right? And when you join any company, they're like, for the first 1 year, no leave, nothing. Even if you're in the hospital, you need to turn up, on a stretcher, right? So, but now with this recent job, I've had a chance it's given me some flexibility. So, I've had a chance to actually, get back to reading. And I'm reading this novel, which has just left me spellbound. It's 1984 by George Orwell, right? So
Oh, yeah.
considered a classic. And I'm frightened when I read this book because when I put it into context, this book was written in 1949, right? So you're looking at 3 years after World War II, which has, right? So these two, George Orwell, when you read his notes, and George Orwell was born in Bihar of all places. I was even more shocked to learn about that, right?
You
So
sure?
yeah. I was amazed, man. And of course, then later on went to Cambridge, Oxford, and slew of accolades or whatever. But does not change the fact that he was born, on this continent. And when you read his side notes, he's talking about how in the 1900s, in the first 50 years itself, humanity has gone to war twice, right? World War One and World War Two. And
True.
as a person, he's worried like, where are we going, as a society? And so in 1949, he writes this book, 1984, and I still haven't gotten to why he chose the year 1984. It's on my mind, but I said I'll, research it later.
Yeah.
And what to me is really shocking is, like, if you read any like synopsis of the book, they'll say, it presents a very dystopian future, right? But when you
True.
read it today, it is not dystopian because
So
in
relevant
that
to the
book,
times.
yeah, he talks in 1949, this man is talking about how the media is controlled, how people will be distracted from living and just trying to survive, right? You won't be living, you'll just be surviving, right? So when I read it now, passage after passage, and he talks about how he keeps referring to the big brother and different parties, right? So he talks about how they will manipulate people and lies will be manufactured, right? And I'm not just referring to India, I'm saying it's a trend that's there everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So it's just amazing, man, that somebody could write with such foresight. And so I had this book lined up, and I read the comment by Saurav that he'll be reading passages from it. So I won't start because every page I have a highlight. So if I start reading, I'll be like covering. We'll be here for the next 49 years, because if it's a really good, like if a passage is really, really good, I deliberately like read it, very, very slowly, like, word for word. This famous, I don't know, this thing in school we learned, right? The law of, what is it called? DMU, diminishing marginal utility.
Marginal utility. Yeah.
Right.
Profit
So,
margin. Yeah.
right. So it was like the faster you read something, the joy of it is gone, right? So I'll deliberately, like, I'll read it very slowly. So yeah, I'm enjoying this novel, man. I have Animal Farm lined up right after this because that's another brilliant one, and then of course Brave New World by Aldous Huxley also lined up after this. So yeah, fingers crossed that it goes well. But fabulous, I'm just amazed at what books can really do for the mind. If you keep an open mind to read, a diverse spectrum, that's when your mind changes. I was reading this article where somebody said that even someone like Hitler was a fabulous reader.
Yes.
He could devour books, right? But the same man destroyed Europe and killed 6 million Jews, right? So
Hey,
even
Lakshmi.
though he was such a great reader. So hi Lakshmi.
Hi,
So
Lakshmi.
Reading something that fulfills your own thought process may not always be the right thing, but having reading something quite diverse, and challenges your thought process. I found that thought process very stimulating. So yeah, so wish me luck with 1984, and let's see where it takes me, man. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome, Pratap. I think we love your Insta quotes, especially the Robinson Crusoe one that you had.
Dude, I don't get time for it, man. It's just like it takes so much of time. I finished Crusoe, and part of me is with him on that island. Seriously, like I was just left spellbound, man. Frick, what a novel, like just left me mesmerized. So yeah.
Yeah. Thanks guys for joining. Pratap, that's awesome, and I think 1984. I just recently going through that audiobook. The Audible, they have a dramatized version.
Oh,
And so that's so
okay.
beautiful. Actually, you actually feel those tones and the cracking of the spirit at the end. I won't give any too much disclaimer.
Yeah. Please don't. I will.
Yeah.
I will find you and make you suffer. Don't spoil it for me. But I know that there is a real twist at the end. It's been hinted to me a couple of times. But when you read a
Sorry,
good
which
book, I
book are
feel
we
like
talking about?
Lakshmi, I'm talking about 1984 by George Orwell. It's my first read.
No,
Yeah,
what book was Saurav talking about?
Yeah,
the
same.
same one.
1984.
The
Okay,
same
okay,
one.
okay.
Yeah. So like now when you what they call immersive reading, right? You actually feel that you're traveling to a different place and time. You're just able to disconnect. You're on flight mode. So yeah, so far so good, man.
Awesome, awesome. I think we
I'm
have
sorry. Thank you for organizing this. Huh? Like it's been a mad day, but I said I must come and let's see what it feels like from 8 to 9 virtually.
to.
But damn good. I'm happy. I said even as they say, even three people is a good crowd. But nice to see so many faces. So yeah, good. Nice to be here.
Awesome.
Likewise.
Thanks a lot for joining, taking it out from a Sunday evening. Sundays are precious. So yeah. So we're just introducing ourselves and favorite books. Vinay, Lakshmi, feel free to go ahead.
Who else going? Yeah, Vinay, you can go ahead. I can go after you.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
She is not
So,
late.
so hi guys, I'm Lakshmi Kher. I am currently 27 years old, and my favorite authors are Agatha Christie and many more. Myth albums, and one of my favorite books from him is Tuesdays with Morrie. I seriously love that book a lot. So, and I'm never going to stop recommending it. And it's actually recently that I found out about the book. I had gone to a friend's place. Nachiket knows. Nachiket is part of this group. So I had gone to a friend's place with Nachiket, and he just gave me the book, and he was like, "Read this book. It's very interesting, very inspirational." So I read the book like within a week, and I was so mesmerized by his words, by the way he talks about life lessons, basically. So I'm not going to spoil the book, but it's a really good book. I know most of you might have read it already, but just another, I don't know, you know, I thought.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
You think
That's
too highly of us. You
Sorry?
think, you think too highly of us as readers. We haven't. Just
Okay, but
listening.
I would really recommend Tuesdays with Morrie.
We
It's
will.
very, very nice. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I've started it. I've not yet finished it, but loved so far. So one like sometimes we are so busy in our everyday life, we don't actually take a step back and see where are we going and what's the
Yeah,
purpose.
yeah, yeah.
Great, 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 awesome, Lakshmi. Thanks for joining again.
Thank you for organizing this.
Yeah, yeah. All thanks to all the lovely readers here, right? Yeah. Vinay, would you like to go ahead and then Marsha, Nachiket, please feel free to Prasenjit, please feel free to go ahead later. Vinay, please.
Thank you, Saurav, and thank you, thank you, Pratap, Shashank, and everyone else. Nice to meet you. My name is Vinay. I am based out of Jaipur, Rajasthan, and and uh,
Is there any network issue?
Sorry, is it just me? But I can't hear him.
Vinay, you can turn off your video. There's some network issue, most probably.
Yeah,
Oh, sir, I thought it was just me. Okay, cool, cool. Yeah.
I'm not sure about the others, but I
Yeah.
can't hear you.
so
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you can turn off your video and then
Cool.
just
Right now he's
Yeah,
frozen
man.
in time. He's frozen in time right now. Looks like.
moving
Yeah.
in time. Hey, Marsha. Thanks for joining.
but am I audible now? Am I
Yes,
audible?
yes. Yeah, feel free to turn off your video.
Slightly
please go
better.
ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a good speed internet, I wonder. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I was sharing my kind of initial, what do you call it? My how do I got initiated into start reading? I was totally Hindi medium in till 12th and all that, even engineering exams and all. Am I audible? Like a lot
Yes,
of you
yes.
are freezing for me.
Yeah. We
Okay.
can
So
hear
Yes,
you.
yes,
yeah,
you're
so I
audible.
never read a book. I never read a book as a child, and when I went to college, a lot of friends and one very nice Bengali friend. Of course, like a lot of them are good readers. So he's the one who introduced me to reading, and the first book that he gave me was, some of you would have heard, there's a book named The Outsider by Albert Camus. It is a little dark book in terms of the like the main person around which the story revolves is a kind of a protagonist and little criminal mind person. So that's how my journey started. And then I also, like I started reading a little more. To be honest, a lot of it was to, like brag in front of a lot of people. So I would Google up like, top 50 classic books to read and all, right? And then try to read them. So I've read quite a few of them. Having read these all the works by George Orwell, 1984, Animal Farm, and all. And that is one genre which I like, as you were saying, Pratap, A Brave New World. And then there's one more book by the name The Giver. I'm forgetting the author's name. It's also one interesting book in the same genre. Uh, yeah, and then Tuesdays with Molly and all those, the Kite Runner, Khalid the Seal, etc., etc. So yeah, and one book which like which has been another book which I picked up again is The Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy. If you would have heard of it, by Douglas Adams.
It
Very,
is
very,
is awesome book.
very
It's
funny,
awesome book.
very, very funny book. And I actually, but for me, reading is not happening nowadays, especially since working last few years. And but I do try to read whenever I'm traveling. Like that's one thing which helps me. So when I was traveling today, I picked up this Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy, and I would be happy to read one first page of that book. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, thanks a lot for sharing. Yeah, that's amazing. Who wants to go next?
I will go next.
Awesome.
So, hi, my name is Marsha. I shifted to Bombay last year. I'm a psychology student. I wasn't someone who was into books naturally. I was a single child, so my parents just decided to get a lot of books and like pile it on me. But that never really worked until one day I think I came across Around the World in 80 Days in the school library. So, the paid books didn't help, but the one in the school library did. And I just couldn't put it down. I was so immersed in the story, and I think then decided that it was not that I had a problem with books, it's that my parents' choices didn't align with mine. So I think that I decided to read a lot more newer books because of psychology. I think that I really like The Silent Patient. That's the one book that actually motivated me to take up psychology because it has a lot of commentary from a psychiatrist in a secret grove. Aside from that, I love works from Radhakrishnan Pillai. In fact, I love works that are a modern adaptation of ancient treatises like the Shastra, the Samudrik Shastra, something like that. Um, and that I think I might even just pick a book because I like the cover. I think I'm a very random, spontaneous reader. I love music and I'm very talkative when I get talking, so I think this is my sign to shut up. But yeah, that's it.
No, no, no. Masha, I just had a question. Have you read
Yeah.
Sybil? Because you're a psychologist, so I was just like, you're a psychologist student, sorry. Have you read Sybil?
No, I have not. I have not, but I would love to. What is it about? Is it a
It's about
is it a fiction?
it's about a girl who suffers from multiple personality disorder. So it talks
Oh,
about how she lived her life basically. It's a really
oh,
मतलब थोड़ा सा है dark है but like I mean like it's fine. I mean I am used to dark books then maybe.
I think I think the kind of the most like the nearest experience I've had to that is once I had a senior, he was a year senior than me, and he was in BSc. I'm in BS psychology. He was in BSc psychology, so he was allowed to
Mm,
work with a psychiatrist as an intern.
mm,
And I got an idea, and his job was to take down notes. And one day he
yeah,
told me that my like other apprentice is not here, and I need you to come and take notes with me. So I had to sit
right.
behind the camera and take notes. And I think that was the most traumatic yet the most entertaining experience of my life because the stories I heard there you cannot hear them in movies or you cannot read them in books. So maybe one day if we are having that discussion, I would love to share some bizarre stories with you. Would trigger
Sure,
warning,
sure.
of course, but yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, no, no, it's fine.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks a lot, Masha. Anyone else to go next? Nachiket, Prasenjit, or anyone else? Anindita?
Saurav,
Yeah.
I think I would like to just add to that. I think Olivier Sacks is someone whom you would love to get your hands on, Marsha. I think you're going to love his works. Um, He's an amazing guy. You should check him out. Yeah.
I will most definitely. Maybe you could, pile down the recommendation in the WhatsApp group today of all the books that we have discussed.
Sounds good. That's good. Awesome. Prasenjita, would you like to go next?
Yeah, definitely. Sorry for that. Okay.
Yes.
So, hi guys. My name is Prasenjit, and I'm basically working right now in Morgan Stanley. And I know sort of, I think 2023, right? Yeah, so
Yeah.
2023, I met from Facebook. And when I go his home, I saw his books. Okay, he was reading some Ayurveda and other things, and he has given me one book. Okay, but I'm very sorry, sort of, that I'm not able to give you another book from my side. Okay, so the thing is that I was not so much fond of reading books till 11th, okay? But the thing is that when I start going for army, Indian Army Officer trainings, I mean Indian Army Officer things, NDA and CDF things, from that time I was very much fond of historical things. Okay, so that's why I start reading the historical books. Okay, and I have read a lot of things. So which Pratap has told the books. Okay, that book is awesome. Okay, I just read that book, so is just good. Okay, and right now I am reading one book that is The Guns of August. Okay, by Barbara W. Touchman. And why I read these historical books, because means I have a one thing that if you read this kind of books, you can understand the things from your past. That what, because for my understanding, I understand that there one thing. The past will give you a lot of good things, okay, good hopes. Okay, you can understand that what we can't do in our right now, because I have gone through a lot of things. Okay, because so I have told sort of, because I have started a business, I failed, and I'm from NIT Durgapur, and earns a crores. Okay, then gone gone lost. Okay, so then again, after 1.2 years of struggle, I got a job, and right now in Bangalore working. But I will start the business, and I will I talk to sort of regarding the agriculture thing. So I'm also reading some agriculture books. So that is also one more thing. But yeah, the sort of was doing very good thing, and I'm really happy that what sort of has done. Okay, as a brother, as a friend, I can say that yeah, it's a very good thing. Okay,
I need to
so
write
we'll
my
meet.
recommendation now.
What recommendation? I'll say one
This
in
is
Bengali.
turning into a very big tribute, Saurav. I think
Yeah.
Saurav is going to start blushing, I think, very
Blushing
soon.
and
Yeah,
why not?
This is
yeah.
not a very
One
scripted session, looks like. Yeah,
Yeah, I read a book. Okay, I read a book a long time ago that is in Bengali book. Okay, because we're Bengali, so I read a book that is Biswas. Okay, I don't know it's in
Yeah,
Hindi
Narayan.
or English. Yes, yes. That book is also so good that from that book I understand that how the US has captured the atomic bomb. Okay, from the Hitler. Okay, because Hitler was doing a lot of things, and definitely when Pratap is going through the means these are historical things. Okay, if you go through the history, you will understand that Hitler was almost ready with the atomic bomb. Okay, but the what he has done, the mistake is that he has finished the Nazis. Okay, and that is the most wrong thing what he has done. Okay, otherwise he can capture the world. He can capture the world in just 1 year. In 1940, whatever the year, he he can capture. But there is a very interesting thing we can learn from Hitler. A lot of things. Hitler is that personality, because I was studying that thing from psychological purposes. Hitler's speech, when Hitler gives speech, everyone felt that okay, he is my person. He's my person, and his thought process is like that. Okay, so there's a lot of books I can recommend. The Guns of August, which I am reading right now, that is also awesome book for those who love the historical things and other things. Okay, and yeah, that's thing. Yeah, I think yeah, that's my check. But yeah, that's a very good thing.
Awesome, awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, so that Vishal Shatak, what it talks about is a scientist in the Manhattan Project who passed the critical piece of information to USSR. Although he's seen as a traitor from, let's say, a developed world perspective, but that ensured a balance of power, and probably that led to, although the Cold War, but not a outright like a singular power dynamics, right? Like so that was a very, very interesting perspective, and it reminds me of, so whenever history is written from a winner's perspective, right? But there's always the other side of the story which you don't know about. Yeah, awesome. Thanks a lot, Prasenjit. Who next?
Okay, I will go next.
Yeah, please. So,
My name is Sutapa. I am from Bengal and I'm a student of English literature. Currently, I am pursuing. I'm an UPSC aspirant. So
favorite
I
authors.
happen
Yeah.
favorite authors. I as I am a student of English literature, so my favorite author is James Joyce. He his favorite book. I like his A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man and Ulysses. Although Ulysses is in written in stream of consciousness technique, mm, it is difficult to understand, but we have to as it is in our syllabus. Recently, I am not reading anything because my days is just going by reading newspaper articles and pin down the thoughts. That's it.
Awesome. Awesome. Great. Thanks a lot for joining. And that was the idea of creating the group so that we get inspired by other readers and do micro reading from the quotes and those little pages we loved. So yeah, thanks a lot. Uh, Anyone else?
But one thing, Saurabh, I just want to tell that I will stole your Ayurveda books. Definitely. I will go to Mumbai and I will stole your Ayurveda books.
Yeah, please, please. I was also planning a visit to Bangalore on October. I'll definitely try to catch up with you.
Okay, okay. Sure, sure. We'll call
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah, awesome. Yeah. So what happened is my mom is suffering from rheumatoid arthritis. So, and she is, because as you know, it's a chronic disease, right? And there is no proper medication. So because she's on like continuous medication and like there's no cure, you just have to control it. So I started exploring the alternate things like Ayurveda and stuff. So that's how. And the funny thing is, like because I was reading and then telling my mom what to do, I saw even my routine itself changed. That was a fun part.
And that's working.
Yeah, to some extent, I
That's
would say, but
helping.
I have not
Yeah,
been that.
because I actually like the naturopathy and all. I was also looking for some good book on it. So if you have something, please
I'll
refer me.
definitely, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
thank
Please
you.
feel free to introduce yourself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was not thinking to. Anyways, I was planning to be the silent listener as may few of you mentioned in the group. So anyway, okay. I'm Anindita. I'm in Bengal currently, and how far I can remember in my childhood, I was always a reader. So that time, I think I started with those comics books and anything for the children came in. And after that, I was so fond of reading that whatever book I had, I read, and that's mostly Bengali books. I am a student from Bengali medium, so no English at that time. So mostly, and in my fourth standard, I read Sharat Chandra, and after that, Bankim Chandra, because that's what only we had that time. So
Yeah, true,
that's
true.
how my yeah, so that's how my reading started actually. So I used to read whatever was available to me that time. So no, that kind of choice and everything. Yeah, obviously, at that age, the detective kind of thing, like the thrillers and all. Obviously, we used to like those. But anyways, those Charachandra and those books also I liked based on the story because Vibhuti Bhushan as well. And the English books I started reading only during the college. Like the Chetan Bhagat introduced the English to us, I think, at our time. So not much I have read that time because starting the study in English during my BTech was also a painful thing for me. So I am never good in English much. But yeah, these days I have read a few books in English, like the Khalid Hosseini, like the Thousand Splendid Suns and those kind of books. So that's very good. And sort of, I still haven't read the book you have given me. Sorry about that. But yeah, I will. So actually, during the college, I could read a very little, and after that, when the job started, life happened, so my reading completely stopped. And one day, I was so much frustrated out of life that I was not able to read. So, out of my credit card, I ordered a book after 5, 6 years. Maybe that I remember very vividly. And the still after that as well, I couldn't read much, but. So it was around 10 to years of gap. So I just read whatever from childhood till my college days, and just these 2 years, I'm again trying to come back in my reading habit because that's what I really love. So yeah, this is what I saw somewhere that um, you can try like have anyone read Atomic Habits?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
I did.
yeah.
I did.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I haven't completed the whole book, but in my office, I had to. I'm an IT professional actually. I had to give one session on that book, so I know the gist of that. uh, and after that, I started reading as well. So I couldn't complete it, but I actually love the concept of it. So from that only, now I'm taking help from that book to read book. Anyway, so I read somewhere that if you uh, want to read any self-help books, so do that in the morning, and anything else you want to do at another time. So I'm trying to read a book in the morning every day during my coffee time. So at least 2, 3 pages so that I can read like at least 2 pages. But if I have time and if I like it, so no time limit, but at least 2 pages. So that's how I'm at 230 pages of the current book. That's the life of an yogi, I think. So that's what I'm reading right now. And I'm again reading the Saurabh Chandra in the night time whenever I have time.
Devdas.
Yeah.
Not Devdas. I'm right now I'm reading Srikanto.
Srikant.
Oh, oh my God.
Yeah.
Memory of Bengalis, right?
Yeah, and right now I'm realizing that when I read it the first time, I didn't understand anything. So because I was only a child then, so that's why I'm again enjoying this book. Yeah,
One thing
yeah,
I can suggest you, Anindita, that after that power habit, na, read the Ikigai. Means if
I
you
have,
have
I
not read.
have, I already have,
Okay,
I have, yeah,
okay.
Ikigai. I have. I found that book a bit slow, but yes, the concept is very good. Like um, one main outcome I got from that book is whatever, like first obviously you have to find your ikigai, then once you have, then you just practice it and find your flow and continue it. So I mainly apply their thing in the things what I don't like to do. Like I have to push myself like as a routine fewer times, then you will fail in that flow and then you can continue anything if you don't like anything do. So that's how I'm applying the learning from that book mainly. Yeah, but thank you anyway.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, thanks a lot, Anindita. Just a funny memory I had. So
Yeah,
we talked about the English medium thing, right? So
yeah.
when I first met you, I think there was Onisha's birthday party. So I was a
Right,
kid
right.
in seventh, eighth grade, and she was in her BTech or maybe 11, 12, I don't know.
Yeah,
Then I
BTech,
was
yeah.
always finding some people and go talk to them in English, like practicing spoken English. So we had a good fun at that time.
Yeah.
Good old days. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks a lot for sharing. Anyone else
Yeah,
want to share
thank you.
anything?
Yeah, okay, I'll
Yeah,
share. So
please.
I'm Nachiket. I got to know about this group from Lakshmi. We are both part of this Borivali reading group that meets once a week. So that's how I came to know this. And I like to read all different kinds of genres, like fantasy, science fiction, historical fiction, literary fiction, non-fiction, everything. So, but I originally started when I was a kid. I think I loved reading fantasy. So things one of the first books I remember reading is Philip Pullman's like The Golden Compass and his Dark Materials trilogy. So those, and of course Harry Potter, and those also I read as a kid. And then as I a little later in my teens, I read this George R.R. Martin's Song of Ice and Fire, the Game of Thrones books. So those also I really enjoyed. And then I started reading more literary fiction as I grew up, and science fiction also. So 1984 was one that I also enjoyed, that we talked about. And so I don't. I guess I'll just mention one or two books in different genres that I've enjoyed that I can remember. So, like in kind of science fiction, yeah, 1984 is one that I enjoyed. One other,
Lakshmi, I think you haven't put yourself on mute.
Yeah, thanks.
so one other that I read, it's kind of science fiction. It's pretty old, but it's called Flowers for Algernon. And I don't know, I just found that book very moving. It's briefly what it's about. It's about a person called Charlie Gordon, and he's born with an unusually low IQ. And the book is, so there are these scientists who are doing some research, and they are experimenting on a lab mouse, and the lab mouse is called Algernon. And they are trying to increase intelligence. Okay? And their test has been highly successful on this mouse. So they kind of test this on Charlie. And as the treatment takes effect, they are very happy, but until the mouse Algernon suddenly starts deteriorating. So that's kind of the synopsis, but it's a very moving story. It's written in a very unique way. So if you read it, you'll get to know. So that's one I really liked. It's pretty emotional, sometimes hard to read. Then another one, historical fiction that I read recently, a couple of books that I enjoyed. One is by Stephen King. He's also a very well-known author. It's called 11/22/63. So in this, it's the basic premise is this person who's in kind of present day is somehow goes back in time to 1960, and basically what he's trying to do, I mean, there are a lot of other details, but what he's trying to do is stop the assassination of John F. Kennedy, which is the date, 11/22/63 is the date he was assassinated. And so it's just very pretty thrilling read. So that's one I enjoy his books, his writing. So that's one I enjoyed. Another one, which is historical fiction. This author is not very well known. It's Robert McCammon. He wrote a book called Speaks the Nightbird. And so that was a really interesting book. So if you like historical fiction, and this is set in around 1699 America. So this is a period I hadn't read a lot about. I mean, you generally read more about American independence, the 1700 War for Independence, and later 1900 American Civil War, those sorts of things, or world wars. But this is the Carolinas, 1699, and it's very interesting. It's set in a kind of small town where a woman has been accused of witchcraft, and this magistrate and his young clerk have gone to investigate this. And so basically the story is, it's very, it's kind of historical fiction, mystery, horror, a mixture of all these things. Octavia Butler is another author I've enjoyed. She also writes science fiction, and So Kindred and A Parable of the Sower is another one. What's interesting is, I mean, she wrote a long time back. So she wrote, I think this was published in 1993. Some of it was published earlier. And it's actually set, it's a future world, it's a dystopian story. Much like 1984, it was written earlier, but this one is actually set in 2024, which is the present year. It's pretty terrifying, but it's a good read. And some literary fiction like Jane Austen and Charlotte Bronte. These are also authors I've enjoyed reading. And they are kind of comfort reads for me also. Once a year I read one of their books. And a couple of Indian authors I've liked. Well, one, Vikram Seth, A Suitable Boy, I've liked. And Rohinton Mistry is another one. He doesn't live in India anymore, but he's originally of Parsi, so that kind of comes through in a lot of his stories. So he's written these tales from Feroz Bagh, which are nice. And it's another book, of Fine Balance, which is beautiful but depressing, but very well written. So these were just some of the books that I've really enjoyed reading.
That was nice. So sorry to interrupt you, but I think a lot of these can be turned into some really good movies, man. Just on hearing the plot that he was mentioning, some of these are like truly, truly movie worthy. Somebody going back in time. It reminds me of Dark, right? I mean, in a very different way. So Dark is again a very dystopian and
Stephen King. A lot of his stuff has been made into films and into TV shows. This 11/22/63 is a TV miniseries, so you can watch it also.
Okay.
The Beautiful Boy is also a movie, right?
Netflix worthy.
Yeah.
So like Shawshank Redemption is also based on one of his stories.
Yeah.
So a lot of his works have been adapted.
Are we talking about all seasons? Shawshank Redemption, Stephen?
No, Shawshank Redemption is a film.
Yeah, it's a film. I think it's adapted. I think it's from a total of
Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption.
Four
I don't know the series.
Stephen King. One of them had become a movie, right? The Shawshank Redemption. If I'm not wrong.
Yeah. So it's based on a short novella, Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption.
So I think Shawshank till now has not been displaced from its 9.7 till now. I think still continues to hold the highest rating. I think on IMDb. Yes. I don't think anything else till today has managed to knock it from that pole position so far.
Yes,
fabulous.
Yes.
And the funny thing is about, I'm digressing here, Morgan Freeman. I remember this write-up. I know this is strictly not literature, but somebody was writing how Morgan Freeman is one of the few actors who decided to act very, very late in life. Like none of us, I think, have ever seen Morgan Freeman in his younger years, right? Like everybody else, if you see,
Jim
Carrey,
old too long, isn't he? He's always been old.
That's the beauty. Like he's not someone who started in his 20s, 30s. I remember seeing this thing, a small snippet on YouTube. Like he's somebody, like he's a born natural, but we've seen him only like later. Somebody like Michael Caine, right? We've seen him mature over the years in so many different movies, right? But I find this guy is so good, in terms of acting, but you don't see him in young anywhere, So sorry, just a point.
It leads me to wonder, like I can only imagine like what he would have done had he been introduced to the stage early on. But then again, you never know, right? Maybe like all those years refined him to such a degree that in the end, like all of it came together.
Yeah. So somebody was talking about something and it reminded me of, I don't know, I should have, I think The Whale, right? The Whale is another big movie that caused a big splash, no pun intended. Yes. But when it came and, especially the ending scene and all. And when I think...
No spoilers. I still have to watch it.
Yeah, I didn't. It's forbidden. It's a permanent ban if anybody... Yeah. So But when he was talking about the Guns of August, I thought he was going to say the Guns of Navarone. And I was about to jump because I love that movie, man. I mean, for those who are.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yes, yes.
Go on. I'm digressing. But yeah, Nachiket, nice. If I'm getting the name right, sorry,
Yeah,
Nachiket.
yeah.
So really nice hearing. Like you've covered
Very
a lot.
exhaustive list, man. Awesome. Kudos, man.
I would like to add just finishing touches to what was discussed about Stephen King. I think one of those few writers who's he's so gifted that he keeps on producing works of such um, you kind of look at it and you on the same when I look at like a George R. R. Martin, and him, and here is Stephen, he's like putting out like mind blowing works, like it's like every month, I read about something is written, and then I wonder like how is it that one person just by himself, he keeps coming up like his whole he keeps coming up with these new characters, these intricate storylines, new ways to terrorize people, and he just keeps giving, right?
Yeah.
Just amazed by him. Like if I were to like choose one guy who had to like write as if my life depended upon it, and I think he would be one of them because he's never short of ideas.
Yeah, very prolific. Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Anyone wants to read, or I can start? Anything you wanna start with?
No, please go ahead,
Yeah.
Saurav.
Okay, cool.
I have
So
10 minutes.
this is
So
the
sorry, what are you reading from?
yeah. 40 Rules of Love, Elif Shafak.
40,
Right.
40 rules.
So,
Okay, cool.
yeah, this is one of my favorites. So this is the voice of Rumi, and the year is 1245. Bountiful is your life, full and complete, or so you think, until someone comes along and makes you realize that what you have been missing all the time. Like a mirror that reflects what is absent rather than present. He shows the void in your soul, the void you have resisted seeing. That person can be a lover, a friend, or a spiritual master. Sometimes it can be a child to look after. What matters is to find the soul that will complete yours. All the prophets have given the same advice. Find the ones who will be your mirror. For me, that mirror is Shams of the breeze. Until he came and forced me to look deep into the crannies of my soul, I had not faced the fundamental truths about myself. That though successful and prosperous outside, I was lonely and unfulfilled inside. It's as if for years on end, you compile a personal dictionary. In it, you give your definition of every concept that matters to you, such as truth, happiness, or beauty. At every major turning point in life, you refer to this dictionary, hardly ever feeling the need to question its premises. Then one day, a stranger comes and snatches your precious dictionary and throws it away. All your definitions need to be redefined, it says. It's time for you to unlearn everything you know. When you love someone this much, you expect everyone around you to feel the same way, sharing your joy and euphoria. And when that doesn't happen, you feel surprised, then offended and betrayed. How could I possibly make my family and friends see what I see? How could I describe the indescribable? Sam's is my sea of mercy and grace. He is my son of truth and faith. I call him the king of kings of spirit. The quandary I find myself reminds me of the story of Laila and Harun al-Rashid, the famous Abbasid emperor. Upon hearing that the Bedouin poet named Qais had fallen hopelessly in love with Laila and lost his mind for her, and was therefore named Majnun, the madman, the emperor became very curious about the woman who had caused such misery. This Laila must be a very special creature, he thought, a woman far superior to all other women. Perhaps she's an enchantress, unequaled in her beauty and charm. Excited, intrigued, he played every trick in the book to find a way to see Laila with his own eyes. Finally, one day, they brought Laila to the emperor's palace. When she took off her veil, Harun al-Rashid was disillusioned. Not that Laila was ugly, crippled, or old, but she wasn't extraordinarily attractive either. She was a human being with ordinary human needs and several defects, a simple woman like countless others. The emperor did not hide his disappointment. Are you the one Majnun has been crazy about? Why? You look so ordinary. What's so special about you? Laila broke into smile. Yes, I am Laila, but you are not Majnun. She answered. You have to see me with the eyes of Majnun. Otherwise, you could never solve this mystery called love. How can I explain the same mystery to my family, friends, or students? How can I make them understand that for them to grasp what is so special about Shams of the bridge, they have to start looking at him with the eyes of Majnun? Is there a way to grasp what love means without become a lover first? Love cannot be explained. It can only be experienced. Love cannot be explained, yet it explains all. Thank you. 40 Rules of Love, Elif Shafak.
Superb, man. Superb. I think you hearted that last line, the way you were smiling and looked at this.
Yeah, thanks.
All of us who have been in love can relate to it, man. Don't worry. Yeah. So I just read apparently. So it seems every chapter of the book starts with the letter B. Huh? Is that true?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. She has put in a lot of effort into the book and the whole storyline, parallel storylines, and then converging together. So what happened is, usually I read fictions very fast. This is a book I've been reading for maybe 6 months now, and I'm going very slow, because it's like shock. Very deep.
Nice.
Yeah.
But what is the significance of the 40? I'm just curious. Why 40? Is there something behind 40 in particular, like related to fast?
Yeah. So there might be some significance of 40, the specific number, I don't know. But here, the 40, they have mentioned 40 rules of love, like the rules of ways we connect each other with other persons and how we should live our lives. So that's a collection of rules by Shams of Tabriz. And the author, Elif Shafak, what she has done is, through the voice of Rumi. So Rumi is the person, he was a very worldly successful person, but he was empty inside. And Shams of Tabriz, he is the spiritual guide. And then their encounter starts the revolution of that love and spirituality. And then parallelly, so that journey is going in the medieval timeline. And then in the modern timeline, there is a story of a frustrated housewife, Ella, and her journey with her own journey of finding love, right? And then these two things converge. So yeah.
I think this 40, if I'm just connecting the dots, if at all, I don't know, we'll have to. I think, especially in the Middle East, 40 always has to do with the period of fasting, right? Like even if you look at the old biblical significance, the Israelites were roaming in the desert for those 40 days, which then became 40 years. So 40 is typically used as a period of great self-reflection. Like even for this what is it, Ramzan, right? The 40 days they do this fast, which breaks at 6 from 6 to 6. So I think maybe that is like a period of great discernment. I'm just thinking, I have a great interest in these, and something specific is used. No, I tend to like try to get to that's why I'm curious about the 40. So
awesome. I'm sure there is some connection. Yeah,
I'll dig it out. I'm curious. I was intrigued.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah. And I think that's a great suggestion, Pratap. We should share the book names in the group. Thanks a lot. Awesome suggestions, actually.
Yeah, it just came to me because so I'm amazed that so many people took the time and trouble to actually come here. Trouble is the wrong word. I've enjoyed it actually, so it's not trouble. But I just thought of, so just what you've read, what you're reading, what you're going to read, just gives us an idea. So it's not at all. Feel free to keep only maybe if you think what you're currently reading, whatever. But then it just gives us the flavor of the other person in a way, right? So yeah, nice, really nice.
And I'm so grateful to all of you. Because Sundays are precious, I know. So
it's a pleasure.
Yeah,
awesome. My pleasure, Saurabh.
Awesome. Anyone wants to share anything? Cool. Great. Then thanks a lot for joining. I think we're closing almost. Yeah. Great. Thanks a lot for joining. Awesome first virtual session, and great to have you in the
Thank you
book
for
club.
organizing this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
so much
really
for
nice.
organizing. Yeah, this is the
Please,
first time I am part of a group where people actually read. So thank you for inviting me.
awesome, awesome. Please keep sharing your favorite books, quotes, and any like particular things you're liking to read, etc. And also please add your book lover friends in the group. Yeah.
Perfect.
Cool. Yeah.
Sure,
Thank
sure,
you.
will do.
Yeah. Yeah.
See
Thanks
you
a lot.
guys. Have a great week ahead.
See
Nice
you.
seeing you. Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Nice seeing
Bye.
you. Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Take care.
Bye bye. Bye. Yeah.